Heidi, Heckleback, and the Cookie Contest. Chapter 1. Me Want Cookie. Yum, yummy, yummers. Heidi Heckleback had cookies on her mind. She had just signed up for the Brewster Elementary Cookie Contest. Heidi had never entered the cookie contest before. She wondered if she would win. She had won a raffle one time, but that had been super easy. All she had to do was write her name on a strip of paper and stick it in a box with some other names. The prize had been a silver turtle necklace. Winning had been fun, and now, more than anything, Heidi wanted to win the school cookie contest. What kind of cookie should I make? Wondered Heidi. She could make oatmeal raisin, but raisins were kind of squishy and gross. Peanut butter cookies were good, but not her favorite. How about chocolate chunk? Chocolate chunk would be a winner, thought Heidi. They were also her favorite. Heidi hopped onto a step stool and grabbed the family recipe box from the cupboard. She found the tab marked dessert and thumbed through the recipes. "Aha!" said Heidi out loud. "Aha, what?" asked Heidi's mom as she walked into the kitchen. "I found out our famous chocolate chunk cookie recipe," said Heidi. "I entered the cookie contest at school. It's this Saturday." "Need some help?" asked Mom. "Do I ever?" asked Heidi. "I've never made cookies all by myself." "Let's gather the ingredients first," said Mom. Henry, Heidi's 5-year-old brother, ran into the kitchen. "Can I help?" "No," said Heidi firmly. "These cookies had to be made by me." "Then, can I be your taste taster?" asked Heidi. "Huh? Are you kidding?" asked Heidi. "That would be like hiring the Cookie Monster." Then Henry pretended to be the Cookie Monster. "Me want cookie. Munch, munch, chomp, chomp." Heidi rolled her eyes. Then she looked at the recipe. 3 cups of flour, she said. Heidi lunged a tube of flour from the pantry and plopped it on the counter. Mom got the white sugar, brown sugar, and chocolate chunks. Heidi got 2 sticks of butter from the fridge. They laid out all the ingredients on the counter. Then Mom got the mixture, the measuring spoon, and the measuring cups. "Oh no," said Heidi. "We're out of eggs." "That's okay," said Mom. "I'll pick some eggs up on the way home from school tomorrow. If we make the cookies in the evening, they'll be nice and fresh for the contest the next day." "Good idea," said Heidi. "So, what do we get if you win?" asked Henry. "You get to have your picture and your recipe published in the town newspaper," said Heidi. "That's it?" said Henry. "No cash prize or giveaways?" "Well, there is one giveaway," said Heidi. "The winner can give away her brother for a year of free cookies." "Ha ha, very funny," said Henry. "But if you gave me away, you would probably miss me." "Maybe a teeny bit," said Heidi. Henry smiled. "Does that mean the taste taster get to have his picture in the paper too?" "Don't push it, little dude," said Heidi. Chapter 2. Va-va-voring. At school, everybody was talking about the cookie contest. Stanley Stonewacker was going to make heavenly surprise cookies. Charlie Chan was going to make toasty s'more cookies. Nettie Newman was going to make pumpkin whoopie pies with cream filling. "Wow," thought Heidi as she put her things into her cubby. "Everyone else's cookies sound so fancy." Heidi began to wonder if her cookies were special enough. Heidi walked over to her friend Lucy Lancaster. "What kind are you making?" Heidi asked Lucy. "Sugar cookies," said Lucy, "with fruity polka dot cereal on top." "Yum," said Heidi. "What kind are you making?" asked Lucy. "Chocolate chunk," said Heidi. "Ew," said Melanie Mathrop. Melanie was Heidi's worst enemy. She had been listening in. Heidi turned round. "What's your problem?" she asked. "Your cookies," said Melanie. "I mean, how black can you get? Even Girl Scout cookies are more exciting than that." Lucy put her hands on her hips and glared at Melanie. "What kind are you going to make?" asked Lucy. "Disgusting chips or oatmeal poison?" "Neither," said Melanie. "I'm going to make cinnamon swirl cookies with toffee bits. My ingredient had to be special ordered. And by the way, I'm so going to win." Then Melanie did a little swirl and walked off with her nose in the air. "Well, whoopity-doo-doo," said Lucy to Melanie's bouncing ponytail. Heidi sighed. "It's true," she said. "My chocolate chunk cookies do sound boring next to yours and Melanie's." "Chocolate chunk cookies are not boring," said Lucy. "Stick to what you best and you will come on top." "On top of what?" thought Heidi. "The garbage heap? Maybe I need to come up with a fancier kind of cookie." A few minutes later, Heidi's teacher, Mrs. Welly, handed out contest rules and entry forms. Heidi decided to give her boring cookie a new name. On her entry form, she wrote, "Magical Chocolate Chunk Cookies." "This sounds a teeny bit better than plain chocolate chunk," she thought. Then she handed it in. Later in gym, Heidi's class did a wacky obstacle course. Bruce Bickerson and Heidi were partners. Together, they jumped through a platen flapping hoop. They walked the balancing beam over a pit of crocodiles, then ziplined across the steep valley. In the middle of the Indiana Jones snake-filled tunnel, Heidi asked Bruce what kind of cookie are he going to make for the cookie contest on Saturday. "Mega Mint," said Bruce. "They're chocolate cookies with vanilla chips and crushed peppermints." "Wow," said Heidi. "This sounds amazing." "They're insane," said Bruce. "But some people think they taste like toothpaste." Heidi didn't think Bruce's cookie did sound anything like toothpaste. They sounded mega tasty. Everybody's cookie sounded great except hers. There was no way crummy old cooked chocolate chunk cookie would win the contest. She had to come up with something new, something different. But what? Thought Heidi as she crawled out of the tunnel and lined up with her classmates. Heidi was sure for one thing. She just had to outshine Melanie Mathrop. That mean girl didn't deserve to win anything. Chapter 3. Razzle Dazzle. When Heidi got home, she raided the pantry. She grabbed pretzel, mini marshmallows, jelly bean, a box of old candy canes, and peanut butter crunch cereal. She piled everything onto the counter with her other cookie ingredients. "What are you doing?" asked Henry. "Jazzing up my cookie recipe." "What for?" "So I can beat Melanie," replied Heidi. "She's making cinnamon swirl cookie with toffee bits." "Do they taste good?" asked Henry. "She had to be special order her ingredients," said Heidi. "But do they taste good?" "How should I know?" said Heidi. "Maybe they're gross." "I doubt it," said Heidi. "Everything Melanie does is perfect." "But our chocolate chunk cookies recipe is perfect too," said Henry. Heidi folded her arms and looked at Henry. Melanie laughed when she heard I was going to make chocolate chunk cookies. "Has she tasted our cookies?" "No." "She should," said Henry. "They're the best tasting cookie in the world." "Who made you the cookie judge?" "I did," said Henry. "But you like animal crackers," said Heidi. A real cookie judge would not know that animal crackers are not good cookies. They're called animal crackers. They're not really even cookies. Besides, I can tell the difference between a good cookie and a bad one. Well, I want to make a blue ribbon cookie, said Heidi. Then you should make our hecklbeck chocolate chunk cookie, said Henry. They're the best. You said it, said Mom. Let's get started, said Dad. Heidi's mom and dad had walked into the kitchen during Heidi's and Henry's discussion. Her parents both had aprons. Dad handed an apron to Heidi. She had never worn an apron before. She took the apron and slipped it over her head. Mom tied the sash in the back. All of a sudden, Heidi began to feel like a real rock. Now, all she had to do was cook a first-place blue ribbon cookie. Chapter 4. Dad Faints. Heidi's dad switched on the oven. Then he pointed at the pretzels, candy, and cereal sitting on the counter. "What's all this?" asked Dad. "Magical ingredients," said Heidi. "Heidi wants the judge of the family cookie recipe," said Henry. Dad was puzzled. "What for?" "Because it's so blah," said Heidi. Dad pretended to faint into Mom's arm. Mom struggled to hold him up. "Heidi, look what you've done to your father," said Mom. "What did she do?" asked Henry. Heidi looked at her dad. He opened one eye and peeked out at Heidi. Then he coughed and sputtered. "I just want to add a little zing," said Heidi. "What's the big deal?" Dad stood and rolled up his sleeves. "Is that the real reason you want to add junk food to our cookies?" he asked. Heidi looked down at the floor. "Do you think our recipe is missing something?" asked Dad. "Bingo," said Heidi. Dad was surprised. "Heidi, this is not just any recipe. I've worked it for years. These cookies are something special." Heidi still looked doubtful. "What makes them so special?" "Let me show you," said Dad. He switched on the stove. "First, we need the brown sugar and the butter." "What's so special about that?" asked Heidi. "Wait and see," said Dad. Heidi unwrapped the butter and dropped them into the pan. Soon the butter began to sizzle. Heidi stirred it around. After a while, the butter began to bubble. Dad took it off the flame. "Smell," said Dad. Heidi and Henry both sniffed the brown butter. "Smells good," said Heidi. "Like toffee," said Henry. "Exactly," said Dad. "Browned in the butter gives the cookie a toasty toffee flavor. That makes them stand apart from other chocolate chunk cookies." Heidi beat the brown butter, the sugar, the flour, and the vanilla. She cracked 2 eggs into the batter and mixed them in. Dad added an extra yolk to the bowl. "An extra yolk will make them soft and chewy," said Dad. Heidi swirled in the yolk. "I also added 2 kinds of chocolates," said Dad. "Milk chocolate and cinnamon sweet. That's another special tweet." Heidi yawned. That special stuff didn't sound very exciting. If he had asked her to add some chopped up candy bars and rainbow sprinkles, that would sound interesting. Dad handed Heidi an ice cream scoop. She scooped the cookie dough and squeezed the handle. Mounds of dough plopped onto the grass cookie sheet. "Now, we'll bake them at a very high heat," said Dad. "And we will only cook them for 4 minutes. This will make them golden on the outside and like cookie dough on the inside." Heidi set the timer for 4 minutes. Then she and Henry stood on 2 chairs and watched the cookie bake. Dad got a fancy dessert plate. Mom laid out the napkins. The cookies were done. Heidi slid one onto each plate. Then it was time to taste them. They all took a bite at the same time. "Mmm," everyone said. Everyone except Heidi, that is. Chapter 5 The Magic Touch. Honk, zoom, honk, shoo. Noseville, USA. Heidi carried the rest of her sample cookie to her bedroom on a napkin. She still thought the recipe was boring, but she wanted to think about it alone. She flopped onto the beanbag chair. Am I being unfair? She wondered. After all, Dad did work on stole the recipe for a living. He must use something. Heidi studied her cookies. It gave her an idea. What if she pretended to be a professional cookie judge? Then she could judge the cookie fairly. Maybe she would see it a new way. Heidi finished the round in a backpack and pulled out the contest rules. At the bottom of the page, she found the judge's checklist. Heidi grabbed the scent spell and her pencil case. It had a sugar cookie smell. Then she looked at the scorecard. Judge's checklist. Appearance. What does the cookie look like? Aroma. How does the cookie smell? Taste. Does the cookie have a pleasant taste? Texture. What kind of feel does the cookie have? Creativity. What makes this cookie stand out? A judge had to be special, super honest, thought Heidi. Then she took a good hard look at her cookie. How does this cookie look? She asked herself. She tried to pretend she was judging somebody else's cookie. Appearance. Check 1. Excellent, good, fair, poor. Fair check. Heidi looked at the cookie. She wrote, this cookie is the color tan. Tan is a boring color. If I saw this cookie at a bakery, I would say, next. Smell. Check 1. Excellent, fair, poor. Fair check. Heidi sniffed the cookie and wrote, this cookie does not smell like that fish. That's the good news. The bad news is that it smells like a plain old everyone chocolate chunk cookie. Taste. Check 1. Excellent, good, fair, poor. Fair check. Heidi took a bite of her cookie. She thought hard about how it tasted. Then she wrote, thankfully, this cookie does not taste like liver. It tastes wholesome. Who doesn't tasted a chocolate chunk cookie before? Texture. Check 1. Excellent, good, fair, poor. Good check. Heidi took another bite of her cookie and thought about the feeling of the cookie. Then she wrote, this cookie is not rubbly or slime or anything gross. It's crisp on the outside and chewy on the inside with a burst of chocolate. See, Heidi said to herself, I'm being fair and honest. I found something good to say about this cookie. The last question was the hardest. Creativity. Check 1. Excellent, good, fair, poor. Poor check. Heidi stared at what was left of her cookie. Then she wrote, this cookie rocks pizzas. Where are all the woo-wee colors? Where are the zingy ingredients? It's not even a fun shape. What this cookie need is a magic touch. Suddenly, Heidi's eyes lit up. That's it, she shouted. All my cookie needs is a magic touch. Chapter 6 The Cookie Charm. Zing! Zang! Zing! Heidi pulled her book of spells out of under her bed. She flipped through the pages and found a chapter called Zesty Recipe Makeovers. Now we're taking, said Heidi. Then she noticed the perfect spell, the cookie charm. Are your cookies ho-hum? Do they have the look and feel of a honky punk? Are you the kind of witch who burns your cookie to a crisp? Then this is the spell for you. No ovens, no pans, no mess, no fuss. It was called the cookie charm. She read it over. Ingredients: Your baked cookies, your favorite additional cookie ingredients. 1 cup vinegar oil, 2 spoons pure vanilla, a dash of nutmeg. Put your baked cookies in an empty pantry. Add the digestible oil, vanilla, nutmeg, and favorite cookie ingredients. Hold your rich or warm stick medicine in your left hand. Place the right hand over the mix. Chant the following word. With this potion my plan goes into motion. Soon you will eat a super tasty treat. Count and let sit for 12 hours. Enjoy! Heidi shoved her book of spells under her pillow. Then she cracked open the door. She could hear Mom helping Henry in the tub. She crept downstairs and peeked around the corner. Des was reading by the fire. She snuck into the kitchen and pulled a shopping bag from the cupboard. Heidi placed a tin of chocolate chunk cookies in the bag. Then she tiptoed into the pantry and grabbed the jelly bean and mini marshmallows. Next, she gathered the other ingredients. Along with a teaspoon and a measuring cup, she dumped everything in the shopping bag. Now, what else can I add? Heidi wondered. I know. She opened the fridge and grabbed a chunk of cheese. Wow, this is what I call zing, she thought, as she dropped it into her bag. Ahem! Heidi froze. Oh no, I'm so busted! But no one was there. It had only been Dad clearing his throat in the other room. Phew, thought Heidi, as she zoomed into the other room and locked the door. Heidi laid her spell ingredients on the floor. She opened a tin of chocolate chunk cookies. Then she poured the spell ingredients on top. They looked more colorful already, thought Heidi. My cookies are going to blow a smelly niece cookies away. Heidi put on her medallion. She held it in her left hand and put her right hand over the mix. Then she chanted the spell. The cookie began to bubble. Heidi covered them and looked at the clock. It was 9 p.m. The cookies should done in 12 hours. That would make it 9 in the morning. Perfect, thought Heidi. The contest did at 11. Heidi snuck into the kitchen and put back the tin of cookies, teaspoon, and the measuring cup. She was ready for the contest. Now she had to get ready for bed. Chapter 7. P.U. Heidi's side popped open. It was 9 o'clock on the dot. That meant the spell was all done. She hopped out of the bed and ran to the kitchen in her kitty cat pajamas. She pulled the lid off the cookie tin and peeked at her cookies. Wow, she thought, it worked. Heidi's cookie had been a beautiful shape, round and plump. The jelly beans, marshmallows, and chocolate looked like they had been perfectly placed. The swirls of cheese added a nice touch. There was only one thing that was a little odd, the smell. P.U., said Heidi, waving her hand in front of her nose. She closed the lid. Well, no big deal, she thought. My nose isn't used to smelling cookies first things in the morning. Plus, I'm still sleepy. I'm sure my cookies are okay. They definitely look amazing. They might even win. Hey, Missy, said Mom, who had just walked into the kitchen and with Henry. Are you sneaking cookies before breakfast? Heidi jumped. No way, I was just making sure Henry doesn't sneak any. Are you calling me a thief? Asked Henry. Well, it wouldn't be the first name, said Henry. Cool it, you too, said Mom. Or there won't be any surprise. Surprise? Questioned Heidi. What surprise? Asked Henry. Dad got donuts for breakfast, said Mom. Heidi and Henry looked around the kitchen and spotted the pink box on the counter. I got a rainbow sprinkle one, said Heidi, and ran from the box. I got the twisty kind, said Henry, right behind her. I will get the plate, said Mom. Mom put plates on the table. She also brought over an empty silver tray with Dolly. What's that for? Asked Henry. It's for you, Heidi. It's for your cookie display, said Mom. Fancy, said Heidi, as she sank her teeth into the soft, sweet donut. We can set up the cookies on the tray when we got there, said Mom. As soon as everyone's ready, said Mom. After breakfast, Heidi put on her green shirt and her t-shirt with silver stars. Then she pulled out the black and white striped top and black sneakers. Heidi looked in the mirror. She wondered what it would feel if she won the first place. She practiced the winning smile in her mirror. Time to go, called Dad. Heidi thundered down the stairs, grabbed a tin of blue ribbon cookies, and jumped into the car. Chapter 8. Stink, Stank, Stunk. A large white party tent had been set up in the middle of Brewster Elementary playing field. There was also two smaller tents, one for sign-in and another to sell drinks. All the tent had balloons hanging inside and out. A banner across front of the big tent read Brewster Elementary Cookie Contest. Heidi could see the judges' table underneath the big tent. It had a red and white checked tablecloth with ruffles around the bottom. There were 3 chairs behind the table, one for each judge's table was displayed tables. Wow, thought Heidi, this is a big deal. Heidi ran to the sign-in tent. She got empty number 12. Heidi slipped a ticket with her number into her pocket. Then she skipped to the display table with her family close behind. Mom set the silver tray on the table and placed the dolly top. Heidi opened the cookie tin. A funky smell floated from the container. Henry pinched his nose. Ew, what's that smell? It smells of blue ribbon cookies, said Heidi proudly. It smells more like dog poop, said Henry. That's so funny, I forgot to laugh, said Heidi, as she began to place the cookie on a tray. Heidi's mom and dad also took a step back from the cookies. Dad fanned his nose with his hand. What happened to the cookies? Asked Dad. I sneezed them up, said Heidi. Mom raised an eyebrow. Heidi, she said slowly, just how did you sneeze them up? Oh, you know, said Heidi, avoiding the question. Unfortunately, Mom did know. Heidi, you know the rule, Mom said finally. No witching skills in your everyday life. Heidi sighed loudly. But how else was I going to make my cookies better? Dad rolled his eyes. You still don't get it, do you? He said. Get what? Asked Heidi. Never mind, said Dad. All right, we'll talk about this later, Mom said. She changed the subject. So, what kind of cheese do you use? The one with the blue spots, said Heidi. The stinky cheese, asked Dad. You mean the dog poop cheese, said Heidi. Stop it, said Heidi. I think my cookies look great. They do look great, said Mom. Then in a much lower voice she said, but they stink to high heaven. Heidi filled out the card with the name on her cookie and the entry number. She put it in the front of her tray. Magical chocolate chunk cookies, a chocolatey cheesy marshmallow and jelly bean delight. Entry number 12. You forgot your name, said Henry. Did not, said Heidi. The judges only allowed entry numbers. Lucky for you, said Henry. Why? Asked Heidi. There's no one will know that you brought the stinky cookie, said Henry. I don't give one hoot what my family thinks about my cookies, thought Heidi. and she looked for Lucy. Heidi spotted her setting up the cookies at another table. Melanie Mathrop was working right beside her. "Hey, Lucy," said Heidi. "Hey," said Lucy. "Where are the fruity polka dots?" asked Heidi, looking over Lucy's cookies. "I decided not to use them," said Lucy. "They tasted better plain." "You made plain sugar cookies?" said Heidi. "Yup," said Lucy. "Why? What's wrong?" "I'll tell you what's wrong," said Melanie Merthrop, butting in. "They sounded possibly boring." Lucy looked crushed. Heidi felt sorry for Lucy, but this time she kind of agreed with Melanie. "Plain sugar cookies did sound dull. The pretty polka dot cereal would put her cookies on the top." Now Lucy had no chance of winning, but Heidi didn't dare say anything. She didn't want to hurt Lucy's feelings. "Come on, Lucy," said Heidi. "Let's check out some of the other cookies." Heidi and Lucy linked arms and off they went. Chapter 9 Cough Drops. Heidi and Lucy waved at Bruce. He was standing beside the Brewster Elementary School bell. The bell ringer started the contest, and this year Bruce had been chosen to ring the bell. Principal Pennypacker's assistant, Mrs. Crosby, gave him the signals. Bruce pulled the strings. Bong, bong, bong. The judges quickly took their seats. Mrs. Crosby tapped the top of the microphone. "Hello and good morning, everyone," she began. "Welcome to the annual Brewster Elementary Cookie Contest. Here are this year's special superstars. Jennifer Child, our town's newspaper food editor, Brewster Elementary's Principal Pennypacker, and Lo Berlin, Brewster's mayor. Now let the judges begin." Everyone clapped and whistled. Heidi grabbed Lucy's hand and squeezed it. They watched as the judges sampled cookies and made notes on the scorecards. The judges kept straight face when they tasted the cookies, even when they tasted Melanie's yummy-sounding cinnamon swirl cookies with toffee bits. But when they got to Heidi's cookies, the judges began to make funny faces. Suddenly the principal's eyes bulged out and he grabbed his throat. The food editor from Brewster Daily looked as if she had eaten rat poison, and the mayor of Brewster began to have a coughing fit. It got so bad that Mrs. Crosby had to run and get a jug of water. The mayor gulped the water straight from the jug. "Heidi, did you put pepper in your cookies?" asked Lucy. "No," said Heidi. "Then what's going on?" "I don't know," said Heidi. "They kind of have a funny smell." "Like what?" asked Lucy. "Like stinky gym socks," said Heidi. "How did your cookies smell like gym socks?" asked Lucy. "Maybe it's the cheese," said Heidi. "I added cheese to the recipe." "Oh, Heidi," said Lucy, "why didn't you just stick with the plain chocolate chunk?" Heidi looked at the mayor. He was still gulping down water. "I wanted my cookies to stand out," she said. "Oh, they stand out all right," said Lucy. The mayor finally stopped coughing. His face had turned bright red, but he looked okay. Mrs. Crosby gave him a cough drop. "Phew," thought Heidi. Then she told herself that it was no big deal. Anyone can choke on a cookie, right? Chapter 10 Woof. The judges took forever. "I'm going to bunkers," said Heidi. "Me too," said Lucy. "Do you think Melanie would win?" "Probably," said Lucy. "Hey, look," said Heidi, pointing at the top of the display tables. "Oh my gosh," said Lucy. Bruce's dog, Frankie, had grabbed the tablecloth in his teeth. He dragged it in. The cookie trays each toward the edge. He tugged again. A tray fell on the ground. Cookies scattered across the grass, and a girl screamed. It was Melanie. Melanie tried to rescue her cookies, but Frankie was too fast. He scarfed them all down. Bruce grabbed Frankie's and put on his rash. Heidi and Lucy burst out laughing and slapped each other 5. Then Mrs. Crosby stepped up with a microphone. She waved a big white envelope in the air. "We have a winner," she said. Everyone clapped and cheered. Mrs. Crosby opened the envelope and pulled out the winning name. "The winner of this year's cookie contest is—" She squinted at the name. "Lucy Lancaster." "What?" cried Lucy. The crowd burst into cheers. Heidi almost fell over. Not Lucy! How can plain sugar cookies win the contest? What is going on? She wondered. "Will Lucy please come forward?" asked Mrs. Crosby. Heidi was still in shock, but she gave Lucy a great big hug. "Wow!" she said. "Congratulations!" "Thanks, Heidi," said Lucy. "I can't believe it." "Neither can I," thought Heidi. Lucy walked to the judges' table. The judges were standing in front of the table with Mrs. Crosby. They took turns praising Lucy's first-place cookies. "Simple, yet utterly delightful," said Principal Pennypacker. "A pleasing blend of ingredients," said the fruit eater. "Crisp on the outside and tender on the inside," said the mayor. "I must have the recipe." Mrs. Crosby pinned a beautiful blue ribbon on Lucy's shirt. Lucy posed with the principal and the mayor. A photographer snapped their picture. Heidi stared in disbelief. She shuddered and slumped. She felt like such a loser. Lucy had stuck with a simple recipe and come out on top. Heidi had gone overboard and made the mayor gag. Mom, Dad, and Henry walked over and patted Heidi on the back. Heidi groaned. "You are right," she said. "You have to find out for yourself," said Dad. "Boy, did I stink up your recipe," said Heidi. "You certainly did," said Dad. "They smelled like gym socks," said Heidi. "Dog poop," said Henry. "Moldy cheese," said Mom. Heidi smiled. "Next year I won't change a thing." "Hallelujah," said Dad. Then he rubbed his hands together. "So, who wants to sample some cookies?" "I do," said Heidi. "Me too," said Mom. "Let's go," said Henry. And then the hecklebecks tasted the cookies. All of them except for Melanie's, because of course they were all gone. Woof! The end.